Right now, so whenever you're free to begin.
Meeting is now called to order. It is the meeting of the Public Information and Education Committee and special meeting of the Board of Directors. It is now 11:12 a.m. So we will call to determine a quorum.
Okay. President Scott Houston. Here. Chairman Harold Williams.
Here,
Director Don Deere. Here. Director Gloria Gray.
Here.
And Director Desi Alvarez. We do have a quorum.
very good. We will start off with public comment.
Chair Williams, we haven't received any public comments prior to the meeting. However, we are holding this meeting both virtual and in person. So if you are attending virtually and you do have comments that you'd like to provide, please raise your virtual hand and we'll call on you. Any virtual hands? Okay, it doesn't look like there's any public comments.
Okay, then we'll move on to item 4, presentations.
Chairman Williams, staff has no presentations.
About, I don't see any listed here, but action items.
No action items today.
That moves us to our information calendar. And on this, I will give control of the agenda to the acting general manager.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. Before we begin our information calendar, the general manager did want me to pass on a couple of things here. And the first is just to recognize the successful water harvest event that we had this past weekend. And specifically, the GM wanted me to recognize our pie department, who is all here with us today, all 8 of them. So I just wanted to read through the names and thank them for all the work that they put into this over the last probably 4 or 5 months. So we obviously have Amy Rocha, who's the manager of communications, Daryl Ramos Young, Mel Miranda, Janelle Ankayan, Aaron McLaughlin, Michael Calabria, Paulina Perez, and Taylor Freeze. So the GM wanted to recognize their efforts as well as all the other staff that participated in this event, prepping for it. I think we had a record turnout for volunteers this year from our internal staff, so that was really great to see. And then I don't know if you saw it on your way coming in, but there is a rain barrel out there that was signed by a lot of the kids that came through that. So if you get a chance to look at that, I encourage you to look at that. And I know that Amy and her team will talk a little bit about the event today, but then I know there'll be a more full report in a future meeting.
Sure. Very good. Yes.
I just wanted to add my personal thanks to the entire staff of the PI group. They do outstanding work. Thank you very much. For you.
Okay, then.
Mr. Chair, could I make a comment too?
Absolutely. Please.
Thank you. I wanted to congratulate the PI team, Amy, as the leader of the team. And I don't want to start calling names because I forget everyone, but thank you to the entire team. I was sorry I couldn't make it this year. I think this is maybe the first time or second time I missed in the number of years I've been on the board, but I know it's always a success. So congratulations to all of you. And thank you very much.
Very good. Anyone else want to take this opportunity?
Sure. I'll wait till the end, but I'll take it now. So I also want to reiterate what was said and thank you, staff. I think it was a great day, a great event. I saw it was all hands on deck. I can't wait to hear, the numbers and some of that, but I also heard really good feedback from some folks who attended, including one of the city council members in the region who was there, and they're just blown away because this person had not ever attended before and was very impressed, didn't know what to expect. So all that being said, thank you to everybody involved. It was great. One of the council members were coming to each.
What can I say? It was outstanding again. I knew it would be, but for those of you who are going to be presenting, since it was so good, remember that he who does not toot his own horn goes toothless. So, Mr. General Manager,
Thank
take it
you.
over.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. The other thing that Mr. Caldwell wanted me to just mention here is that today is Imagine a Day Without Water Day. And I'll just kind of read something here real quick. So Imagine a Day Without Water is a national day of action that brings together diverse participants to highlight how water is essential and valuable and in need of continuous investment. For many Americans, living a day without water is an unfortunate reality, not something to be imagined. Part of the solution is sustainable, robust investment in the infrastructure and people needed to deliver water services equitably across the country. So this is the 9th annual Imagine a Day Without Water campaign. Water agencies are highlighting how communities value and use their existing water resources, as well as the importance of closing the investment gap so that all of us have access to safe and affordable water. And our PI team has already been active on our social media this morning. They've already put a post out there related to this event. And so just wanted to mention that before we get into our agenda.
Go for it.
Okay, all right. So then we'll move into item 6A, which is our community engagement update. And providing this presentation will be Daryl Ramos Young, our Public Information Specialist 3.
Thanks, Pat. Committee report. This quarterly community engagement report, which begins on packet page 3, summarizes the 26 community engagement activities conducted over the past 3 months, or calculated the other way, 13 weeks. Highlights include 4 water recycling facility tours that were completed and served approximately 120 guests. Water education classes serving 40 guests included 2 Know Your H2O evening classes at the Eversea Little Water Recycling Facility and 1 online West Basin chat. I'd like to extend a thank you to the awesome West Basin Operations Department team members who developed and presented the rich content for the water quality and monitoring session. And a special thank you to MWD for providing the guest speaker for the Emerging Water Saving Technologies session. The presenter was Elise Goldman, a West Basin water policy and later operations department veteran before joining MWD. Whereas water education classes are opportunities for the public to come to the Eversea Little Water Recycling Facility to learn about our agency and current water issues, a Speakers Bureau presentation is a community request for an agency representative to go out into the community groups meeting location and share information about the district and water conservation program. This quarter, 4 Speakers Bureau presentations served over 100 individuals. On packet page 4, you can see the 8 community events for those gatherings coordinated by other organizations without a West Basin sponsorship and solicitation request. That included participation in 6 national night out events. A heartfelt thank you to those staff members, many currently in this room, who shared their time to represent the district in the communities we serve and served as role models promoting safe neighborhoods. Because a significant amount of time is required to coordinate and staff community engagement booths for director and district sponsored events, the 7 completed sponsorship tabling opportunities for the quarter are highlighted in the last chart on packet page 4. In addition to such sponsorship tabling support, staff also coordinated the sponsorship advertisement design and submission for 3 additional sponsored events and delivered requested agency printed literature to a Ford-sponsored event. So the district's conservation program materials could be made available to the public at that event. So this would bring the total community engagement activities count to a total of 30 events. So with that brief report, includes the information I have to share. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Question is just a comment, and also same thing as earlier. Thank you to all the staff and everyone who, a lot of it I know is off the clock or volunteer time, et cetera, et cetera. So thanks for being out there on our behalf in the communities. National Night Out was a lot of fun, right? You all were out there. A lot of these fairs and other organizational things, whether we sponsored them or we got another invite to be there. So I just want to say thanks. A lot of good feedback from members of the public as well when they see you out there. You collect a lot of information too. You know, a lot of people are signing up for our newsletter and so on and so forth. They want to keep in touch. So thanks again.
You want to lay it on a little thicker?
I do not.
Director Deere,
Okay,
Director Gray. Okay. Go on, please.
Okay. Item 6B is our monthly communications update. And this month it'll be presented by Mel Miranda, who is our information specialist too.
Morning, Chairman Williams and Directors Gray, Houston, and Deere. I'll start our communications update for the month of September on packet page 8 with a snapshot of our earned media coverage. This includes our legal ad and compliance with our permitting procedures dated September 21st. And all earned media is available in attachment B. Page 9 is our top social media post by platform, with Water Harvest and Rain Barrels taking center stage. Over 2 pages. Next slide, please. Packet page 12 is our Water Harvest STEMI update. We'll go more in depth once we have our final numbers, but I wanted to highlight a few things from Saturday. Estimated attendance was over 1,100 attendees. We had a record $41,500 in donations. Estimated 300 attendees went on tours. Of the 31 booths, new participants included Jacobs, West Basin's own Doing Business with Us, and the South Bay Parkland Conservancy. The new features that people loved included the Seoul Arts Academy Chalk Walk at the entrance of the facility, the updated opportunity drawing process that included 9 prizes and 1 grand prize, the fall-themed water conservation and garden corner, Lawndale High School student volunteers who were such a huge help.
on the grand prize.
A woman from El Segundo, so she was very thrilled to take those home.
Yes, she was. They look very nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Nice.
Other highlights included the El Segundo Fire Department joining us, the librarian book giveaway, the tours as mentioned, the 8 custom rain barrels painted by local students, and the food, of course. And additionally, the buy-in, as mentioned, from all departments was phenomenal, and their effort and execution helped make the event run really smooth this year. And as a cherry on top, it looks like we will be well under budget this year. So congrats to the entire West Basin team, and thank you all for attending. Turning to packet page 13, firescaping on November 1st. We are actively promoting and working with Cal Water and cities to spread the word, and we're looking forward to a very well-attended event. And Amy can add a few more details of this as well.
Great, thank you, Mel. Yeah, just adding this since it's hot on the heels of Water Harvest, working with Matt Vey and Gus Mesa to make sure we get this out and get folks attending it. So we're working very closely with the city of Rancho Palos Verdes, who will be hosting our city. We have on our flyer the Cal Water logo because they've been involved, as well as the LA County Fire Department, who we expect to be part of our program. Currently, we have pitched this to the media. We are placing an ad. We're running social media, geo-targeted ads to reach the Palos Verdes area. South Bay has sent out various e-blasts. We're also expecting to work with RPV TV to broadcast it as well as an extra resource. And so right now, we just really in earnest started promoting it kind of on the, like I was saying, on the heels of Water Harvest. So we have about nearly 20 people, but we'll keep actively promoting it. The PIO for City of RPV has been working with other cities, helping to get the flyers in our the city halls and community centers. And so we're grateful for that partnership there. And so we'll keep folks posted. Obviously, it's more related to the PV area, given that it's got a lot of the rolling hills and the dryness. But it is open to the general public, so that anybody in our service area that's interested in this is welcome to attend. We have the link on our homepage of the website, so people can quickly link to it. Otherwise, we're looking forward to a good event. Obviously, it's a hot one this week in a lot of areas. So this fire season, is I know it's year round, but especially now in these hotter months that we have in the fall. That's it for me, and I'll turn it back over to Mel.
Great, thank you, Amy. The next page, please. Next up on packet page 14 is our rain barrel update. We've completed 2 so far, and we're collaborating with the water policy team to amp up registrations for the final 4 opportunities, starting this Saturday in Manhattan Beach. Some highlights for the month of September. Janelle Unkind was a guest panelist, continuing to advance careers in the water industry this past week. And it was a great event, seeing her in action. Next on packet page 17, we submitted our application for the Transparency Award and expect the results soon. This occurs every 3 years, and we'll keep you updated. The next slide on packet page 18 is the PV lateral. In addition to the information on the slide, the construction awareness team is ready to disseminate the construction notices for upcoming pipeline installation work in Torrance. It's anticipated to start on October 24th at the north end of Anza and Calle Mayor and progress south. And they will continue to keep the communities apprised. Additionally, there's daily monitoring of the project hotline and email inbox with no notable issues of concern today. Next slide, please. Packet page 19 is the recycled fill station. We're ready to go on the comms end and are working closely with engineering for the final permitting approvals. Next up on packet page 21 is our planning for the final months of this calendar year. At the snapshot, we covered all elements with the Juanita Millender McDonald Carson Regional Water Recycling Plant Phase 2 expansion also on our radar. In the following pages, packet pages 22 to 32 are the aforementioned clips. Mentioned at the beginning of the communications update. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
Yes, question is on the recycled water fill station. Do we have an idea yet when we might be doing the opening of that? I mean, I know it's been slipping, so where are we at?
No, the answer is no. We are waiting for some final permitting. Obviously, that's the critical element. And so once we kind of hear back from engineering, we can regroup on, what an event looks like and appropriate timing or, how we do that. But as Mel mentioned, we're ready to go. We've got a lot. You can see the items and we have our game plan ready. So we'll work closely with engineering.
No, man, he'll let me know.
Yeah, and Director Houston Barkev is here, could maybe speak to that as well.
The Houston, the recycle water fill station, like Amy said, there's some, we did get the approvals from the different regulatory agencies, and we did actually put in signs and the equipment necessary to do the fill station. However, the approvals that we got were actually conditional approvals, and they listed 1 or 2 things that require additional analysis. And that's what we're working on at the time. And one of the things that it requires is a degradation analysis. And so we're working with with a consultant that we already have on board to prepare that, make sure we get those conditions ironed out before we get the station going.
Nothing's easy, right?
No,
Nothing's easy.
unfortunately.
Thank
You
you.
know that.
Yep. Thank you, Park.
Director Deere? Director Gray? Come on.
Okay. Camille and Amy. So we'll move to item 6C, and this is our monthly conservation programs update. And this will be co-presented by Gus Mesa, our senior water policy analyst, and Jennifer Vasquez, our water policy analyst too.
Thank you, Matt, and good morning, Chairman Williams and directors. We'll be using the PowerPoint that's located on packet page 41. But before I begin, I wanted to mention that both Jennifer Vasquez and I, we attended the Water Smart Innovations Conference this month. It's the largest water use efficiency conference. It's organized by the AWWA, and the keynote speaker this year was Ann Castle. She was the Assistant Secretary for Water and Science for the Department of the Interior, and she talked about the history of the Colorado River and showed all the diverse stakeholders involved with negotiating the water allocation of the river. So it was really quite fascinating how many stakeholders are involved in that process. I presented at a session on the challenges and lessons learned from our Malibu and Topanga Smart project that we implemented, and that was very well received. So I enjoyed doing that. And Jennifer Schiltz presented, and she'll be talking about that during her update next. So next slide, please. Our partnership with SoCalGas, we continue to make good progress with the installation of the residential water and energy conservation devices in our priority areas. On this slide here, we show the devices and the number of installations. As you can see, we're getting closer to meeting some of the goals. We're at 83% for the high-efficiency toilets, 91% for the shower heads. So we're tracking the installations closely and our budgets closely. So we'll be ending the program probably in the next couple of months as we get closer to the maximum budget amount. Next slide, please. The number of residents by city and county. Today, we've had 150 residents participate in this joint program. We've also had several participants from our LA County unincorporated areas as well. We're continuing to use the heat maps that we developed to target the areas with little participation, and we also developed a second heat map that we'll be presenting next month, so you can see how we're progressing along with this program. And we also continue to have regular meetings with SoCalGas reps to ensure that our outreach is hitting the mark for this program. Next slide. Now I'm going to switch over to our rain barrel program. So we had a great event in the city of Hawthorne on October 7th over at the Memorial Center. We had volunteers from the Rotary Club of Hawthorne, LAX, and Lenox there. They were on hand to help us. And also the city manager of Monterey Norris and council member Alex Montiero, they both attended the event, and they expressed interest in touring our Edwards Toledo Water Recycling Facility. So we are working with staff to arrange that. They mentioned it sometime in the new year that they would like to tour the facility. So it was great to see them there. And I also want to thank, I know he's not here, our general manager, EJ Caldwell. He came out as well to the event. We distributed 289 rain barrels, just 11 short of our 300 rain barrel goal. And the Hawthorne Public Works staff, they took those remaining rain barrels and they're helping us distribute those from their yard. So when we get calls, we provide them with the phone number and their scheduling to pick those up. And then for the first event that we held here in Carson, we did have some remaining rain barrels, Director Williams, as you know. And glad to say we gave all those 18 away So that program is complete.
Very good.
Our next event will be this Saturday in Manhattan Beach at Maricosta High School. We currently have 376 people registered, and students for Maricosta High School and staff from the South Bay Environmental Services Center will be assisting this Saturday with that event there. We are tracking the RSVPs very closely. As you know, we provide the board with the RSVPs every Thursday morning. So we forward those numbers on to you. So these numbers here are as of October 9. So the numbers are a bit higher now. For Manhattan Beach, we're at 376 RSVPs. For Inglewood, we're 134. For Malibu, we're 43, and in Culver City, we're 67 RSVPs. So the numbers continue to climb. I did work closely with our public information department for the Manhattan Beach program. We did distribute door hangers for that event throughout Division 3, and that really helped the numbers for that event. So when we have events that need a bit more, we will use door hangers for those. Next slide, please. Yes.
I just wanted the directors to know that we're seeing just a little bit of a higher no-show rate this year. And so because of that, last year, we were able to kind of get our numbers to where we needed them to be just on doing social media outreach. We always set aside budget for direct marketing, as you mentioned, the door hangers. So this year we did choose to do some door hangers in Manhattan Beach, and we'll probably do the same for Inglewood and Culver City, just to make sure that we're kind of getting our numbers up a little bit higher than last year because of that higher dropout rate. So.
Next slide, please. The last update is on our joint partnership with Las Virgenes Municipal Water District and LA County Waterworks District 29. This is just a brief status update. As we've mentioned in the past, there are several agreements that are being worked on right now. One is between DWR and the Los Angeles County Flood Control District. This is for funding for our project, our joint project. And then also with the county, they will have an agreement with all the local project sponsors. In our case, our project, Las Virgenes Municipal Water District is the local sponsor. And also we'll have a three-way MOU between Las Virgenes, us, and LA County Waterworks. And we are finalizing that MOU, sending it to our respective legal counsels to review. And in the next couple of months, we'll be bringing that back to the board to review and discuss as well for your consideration. I believe that's all I have. Oh, okay. And at the same time, staff is working on developing the RFP to hire the project manager. That's going to be our role at West Basin, is to hire the project manager for that joint project with Las Virgenes and the county. And so we'll be working with our contracts department to issue the RFP, using a competitive bid process, and we plan to bring that back in the next several months as well for your consideration. So that's the end of my update. I don't know if there's any comments or questions before I turn this over to Jennifer.
Board. One question.
Sure.
When you went to that conference to present, where was that conference held at? Yes.
It was held in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yes.
Really glad we're out there, and good to hear that you all could make that presentation as well as got some good feedback. So thank you for doing that.
I'll just go ahead and hand this over to Jennifer. Thank you.
Thank you, Gus. Good morning, Chair Williams, committee, and board members. I will try to go through this presentation without coughing, but please excuse me if I do. And my voice is noticeably, hopefully lower, but I'll try to speak quickly through my presentation. With the update of the Water Smart Innovation, since we just touched on that, I also wanted to include information about the session we joined. I was able to join, it was titled Involving Water Use Efficiency Programs to Address Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and Accessibility. The session featured insights on DEIA efforts from West Basin, the city of Bozeman, Montana, the City of San Antonio, Texas, and Chicago Metropolitan Planning Agency. So it was a full panel of all of us representing and talking about our DEIA efforts. A lot of them centered around affordability and different programs that are available to those cities. It was just a great discussion and also allowed us to speak on how data-driven our programming was for Grass Replacement Plus, which actually ties in really well with the update next on this slide. For Grass Replacement Plus specifically, we are, as of October 10th, at a total of 29 applications that we are processing through our landscape designer and design consultations. There are 6 remaining landscape packages available to the community. So I did want to point that out, especially as you're speaking out to members that might be eligible, and always reminding them to check on our website if they are eligible. We do have those conversations sometimes when residents are not eligible for the Grass Plus program, but then point them towards the rebate process. And I definitely make myself available to help them through the application process, very similar to Grass Plus participants. We have maximized, of course, our social media channels and our newsletters with the COG to continue promoting these last few landscape design packages in the month of September and October. And the breakdown of applications is included on packet page 51 with the list of cities that are participating through Grass Plus. It is also important to note that there are a few residents beginning their rebate applications currently. They have already received their landscape package and are using that to actually submit it through the SoCal WaterSmart website. In the month of October, we have seen an increase in the DAC grass replacement rebate applications for both residential through this program and commercial. We actually had some multifamily buildings participate, and those are considered commercial through the SoCal WaterSmart website. Anything with 4 units or larger goes through the commercial side. So we did see an increase in applications there as well that were directly tied through Grass Plus, but just in general, we are seeing commercial activity for grass replacement increase through a lot of that messaging that we are seeing from the legislation that just passed. The first resident in this new design cohort did complete their project in October, and I'll have additional photos included in the slides for the next PI committee so that you're able to observe some of the examples that are coming through from this program. And moving into the residential grass replacement rebate, on board packet page 53, we do have the 14 new applications that were processed through SoCal WaterSmart. And this level of activity is very much in line with the fall months and increased interest. I also wanted to note that we had very engaging conversations at last week's water harvest. Our garden corner display really provided a great space to highlight the rebate. And there were some residents that were not aware that there is still funding. So it just speaks to the importance of continuing to promote the program and letting them know that there is still money available for grass replacement projects. And just continuing those conversations on selecting appropriate plant materials. And it was just overall a great opportunity to have those engaging conversations. The next update on the grass replacement classes is included on board packet page 55. In the month of September, the West Basin staff hosted a West Basin chat featuring the grass replacement program, and there were a total of 38 participants that registered for the English West Basin chat, with 15 attending on the day. Unfortunately, the Spanish class only received 5 registrations with no attendees at the set time that we had for the West Basin chat. So we held off on, of course, hosting that. We are thinking of possibly having a recording of that chat in Spanish so that people can access that information, since slides are already prepared for that. And we will continue to innovate with giveaways and messaging that will increase attendance and participation for these chats in the future. For example, a free California-friendly maintenance book was offered for participants that registered and attended the recent chats. And an image of that is included on this slide, that's the California-friendly book. It was also distributed at Garden Corner, and it was quite popular for residents that are considering projects or have existing projects, since it focuses all about maintenance for California-friendly landscapes. Lastly, I wanted to highlight some recent activity for public agency grass replacement program. The table provided on board packet page 58 includes the increased activity and CII seen across commercial, but also multifamily in the Grass Plus program, as I mentioned earlier. In the month of September 2023, West Basin staff met with facilities planning and development team at Los Angeles Community College District. During that meeting, 2 opportunities were discussed, one at Southwest College and the other opportunity at West LA College that were identified. They do have large portions of grass in a lot of the entrance portions of those campuses. It is still at the very initial stages. They're collecting water use data to really justify the transformations that they are considering. But we will continue to work and connect them. We did connect them this month with Golden State Water for some of that water use data that they were requesting for their projects. And we'll continue assisting in any way that we can and are available to do so. Additionally, staff was also able to collaborate with the South Bay Cities Council of Governments to create slides featuring the public agency grass replacement program. And these slides will be featured in various meetings with school board members that is being organized by the COG and anticipated to begin at the end of October, running through the first quarter of 2024. So just engaging conversations. It also included information about other West Basin programs such as water bottle filling stations information as well. Lastly, an update on the Manhattan Beach Boulevard median project. Director Alvarez and West Basin staff were available to support this week at Manhattan Beach City Council meeting. During that meeting, City Council received a presentation from city staff on options for replacing turf on the medians along Manhattan Beach Boulevard. And so this item was offered support with discussion on utilizing native plants, integrating swales into the design, and further discussion on the cost range of where it would land for the project. So there's still work there being done. And of course, West Basin was offered as a resource to continue planning for that project in Manhattan Beach. That is the last of my updates. I'm happy to address any questions you may have. Thank you.
Any questions? Comments?
No question.
Then Director Gray?
No question. Thank you.
Well, I do have a comment to make. Having grown up in a community where if you didn't have a green lawn, you were considered to be a poor property owner. And to see the lawns being replaced, which they should be because we know why. But there's some, pain there because growing up, that was the way we made money, cutting lawns with the old push lawnmower. Remember though? No, you guys don't. You're too young. Whoever pushed the lawnmower growing up? We made a lot of money like that. But of course, my kids' generation didn't because they were too busy with baseball, t-ball, and football and soccer on the weekend. So they didn't have time to cut grass. But that was a great time, smelling the cut grass, having a good time. And green lawns. Because if you didn't have a green lawn, you had a lawn. If it wasn't green, you were considered a poor property owner. Well, I go a long way with the green lawn, but I'd like to see them go away. And I'm glad that we're not going to replace them with that artificial turf. I'm glad that's gone away, right? That's just going to be illegal. It is illegal now, right? The governor just.
Well, there was a legislation that was passed that would no longer allow for the classification of artificial turf as drought tolerant.
Drought tolerant, okay. But that's good. No more plastic grass. Very good. All right, continue.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, thank you, Chairman Williams. This brings us to our final information calendar item, which is 6D. And this will be an update on our water bottle filling station program. And this will be presented by Tammy Hurley-High, our water policy analyst too.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. And good afternoon, Chair Williams, Member Houston, Director Deere, and Director Gray. So this update begins with some PowerPoint slides and begins on page 62 of the committee packet. And so we'll look at this first slide. It shows all of the applications that were received during the last fiscal year. There have been agencies that are installing their units and have already been installed. I do have a new update for you that is not indicated on this slide, and that is just to highlight in Division 4 for the county's Del Air Park. They have just recently installed their station. And so that includes a wall-mounted station outside of the gym, and then a second unit that's a pedestal-style station near the picnic areas and the walking path. That. And if we can go to the next slide, please. The next slide is just the one remaining application that is still pending, and some of these other ones that were listed last month, they have already been installed. So we just still have this one, and I continue to work with them and communicate with the school district and the school to monitor this. And I'll keep you posted and updated as more developments and more information becomes available. And we can go on the next slide, please. So we were able to schedule a photo opportunity at the Broad Acres Elementary School, which is part of the Los Angeles School District. And this photo, this is a before and after photo of their station. And it is located on the north wall of the lunch pavilion. So we can go to the next slide, please. This is a great photo that came together with Director Williams. And the lady in the photo is the school principal, Dr. Ursula Martin. And the other gentleman for the photo is Mr. Isaac Gillard, who works for the school district and oversees facilities and grants. So it turned out they were very happy and thrilled. They love the station. Yeah. We can go to the next slide, please. So this slide shows the before and after photos at the Environmental Charter High School located in Gardena. And if we can go to the next slide, please. So this included in this photo are the students along with Miss Jen Fenton. She is the Director of Strategic Initiatives for the Environmental Charter Schools, and also Kevin Atmore, who is the Facilities Manager. And one of the photos in the upper right-hand corner, it shows that newly renovated building. It's annexed to their original building next to it. So they're very excited to be in that new building and then have the new water bottle filling stations as well. So they have installed 2 stations, one on the first floor and then another one on the 3rd floor. You can go to the next slide, please. So I'd like to share some other photos of other stations that have been recently installed in the city of Gardena. And this is before and after photos of their station located at Rowley Park. This is placed indoors in the lobby of their gymnasium. If we can go to the next slide, please. And this is another station also located in the city of Gardena. They've installed a new pedestal style station outdoors with new plumbing. And this is placed next to their multi-purpose room and the playground. Go to the next slide, please. So we've been working to prepare signage for the recently installed stations at these locations on this list. And then lastly, I'd like to also report updated information on this presentation is that we've received 2 new applications this month. So the first one is from the Environmental Charter High School in Gardena. We just saw the photo op. So they have another floor, another area that they've just recently renovated for the main welcome area that they would like to station. The second application we received for Center Street Elementary School, they submitted 2 applications. So they have a need for 2 wall-mounted units. So provide that report. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions, comments? I like those stations. They look very nice. They look very inviting.
They do.
I want a bottle. I want a refillable bottle. I'm just kidding.
And one at your house with the scotch next to it so you can mix with the
No,
water.
you aren't supposed to tell them that.
Chair Williams, that brings us to closed session, and we have no closed session items.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Next,
We were talking about the lawnmowers. I have fond memories of pushing the lawnmower when I was 14. For some reason, I neglected my duty to mow the front lawn. It got to be the point that it was looking pretty bad. I looked at one day, my mother was pushing the lawnmower. I was humiliated. Neighbors would see her out there mowing the lawn.
what's wrong with him?
Chair Williams, item 8 is director's comments, future agenda items.
Any comments?
Just thank you
Go
to
ahead.
staff this morning for their comments.
Okay, very good. Staff, you hear that?
I would just say, well, thank you for all the work. Multiple events and functions this past month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, that you've all told us about. And just I really can't reiterate how much it's appreciated because the